Welcome to the ESR ACC GT3 series. This is round 2 of season 3, and today we bring you to Spa-Francorchamps. I'm your host, Cole McCray. We are joined today by
Ayrton Tobin coming at
yes, the stalwart man himself. We have quite the run-up today. Lots of intense battles. This is the second round, so we got a few battles going on in the standings. Let's take a look at those. Maxi Lentini is our first place currently, followed closely by Mike Stoffmeal and also closely by Albert Arjona. Those three battled pretty viciously for the lead last time. There's a lot of fighting back and forth. Eventually, I think Mike Stoffmeal was in third at one point. Our kind of stalwart Christopher Streppen in 7th, and Dimitris Simeonidis following closely in 8th. Obviously, this is the only second race, so these point standings are going to be fairly close regardless, but Mike Magus and Finesse in 16th and 17th, shortly following Matt Higgs. The score says Richard Higgs, but that's not true. And as we have a bunch of people in the back as well fighting for positions, Sarah Huntley and Ryan Gonzalez tied for 28th, along with Wayne Hutchison and Jurgen Stipsitz. So we got plenty to look at today. Why don't we take a look at our qualifying so far? Oh, my director already broke. Okay, so as you can see in qualifying, Mike Stoffmeal leads the pole, or he's sitting on the pole, I suppose, followed by Christopher Streppen. So we didn't have too much seen from him in the previously leading up to the finish of qualifying here, but he grabbed the second spot.
Yeah, it looks like Lentini is a good 6/10 off Stoffmeal after just putting a beat down on him back
yeah, it looks
at
like it.
Barcelona.
Yeah, as we can kind of tell, Mike Stoffmeal is one of our only BMW M6 drivers today. The Javier Eugeni is our only other one that I can think of right now, and maybe it's just a car combo that we're seeing. Or I don't think this game has ballast, so
No, definitely a bit more spread out of the field. I think the whole top 10 was covered by 1 second in qualifying at Barcelona, and here that's just the top 4.
Indeed. So, as a warm-up for this series, in case you're new, we have a few rules here. Namely, we have only one race, 60 minutes in length, with our qualifying just ending now. It is a mandatory pit stop for all drivers, so everyone must pit once. The window focuses on the middle points, that'd be 30 minutes. And during that pit stop, you must take tires, all 4 tires. Other than that, race hard and get her done. So, as we said before, we have quite the few interesting kind of matchups here. One thing we haven't seen in a moment is Matt Higgs down in 6th, so not the strongest qualifying for him of all time, falling even behind Javier Muniz, who is a solid driver nonetheless, but Matt has been generally pretty highly regarded in the past.
But, you know, if Matt can get through this race without a penalty, that is the goal.
I don't count on it, friendo. What is it, the past 6 races that he's not escaped the penalty boards?
Something like that.
Our friend Mike Magus noting to the competitors, take care of doing slower cars, especially at Eau Rouge and Blanchimont, 2 of the most famous corners of this track, but also 2 of the most dangerous. Eau Rouge is well known for taking many lives, and Blanchimont is no slouch either.
Alright. Let's see, quick rundown of the little qualifying here. What do we have?
I'm not entirely sure. We do have...
We cannot see. Here we go. Stoffmeal, Streppen, Lentini, Arjona, Muniz, Higgs, Watt, Kenny, Simmons, Price, Couple new names in here: Benvenuti, Nolasco, Esch, Vinke, Jeff, good old Jeff in 15th,
job.
Eugenie, Stokes, Di Gregorio, Di Groot. Again, these two are qualifying next to each other,
How
just like
infuriating! I'm thinking
Barcelona.
they might be doing it for just for us to make
I
it so
think
we
so.
mistake their names.
And good old Anderson rounding out the top 20, followed by Butler, Sempao, Hutchison, Swan, Magus, Policino, Naku, Long, Hughes, Barker, Biino, Pachilla, Heroes, Burke, Martin, Nash, Schurnthaner, and Anderson. Oh, there's two Andersons. Oh,
What a
it
lineup!
moved
What a
Anderson to the
lineup!
back.
Yeah,
Alright,
Andy
39
Anderson.
cars.
So a little bit less than we had at the last race, but there is
Probably
still
39
plenty to look
drivers in
at.
those 39 cars. No
I would hope
guarantees.
so.
Not sure about the Di Gregorio, but might be one guy.
Yeah, so there's quite a few battles going to be brewing here. Verstappen, Stabilo, Lentini, and Arjona potentially will be fighting for the first spot. I'd venture to guess that Higgs would be somewhere up there, but maybe a little bit behind him. Max Simmons in ninth place has been sort of a wild card in the last few races. He's had some bad penalties, but also had some great racing opportunities. I don't believe we've seen Vinca before in 14th. Finn Esch has been another similar kind of driver. Glenn Price has had some astonishing racing in Barcelona, but he was brutally murdered by a couple of incidents in that race, so that's unfortunate. I'm trying to think. Mika What pulled some good driving, and he's another newcomer, and I believe he's a relatively new sim racer as well. So that he's able to qualify 7th, especially in this challenging track in this environment. Good to him. Good for him. So eyes on Mike Stabile, Maxi Lentini, Matt Higgs, Max Simmons, and potentially people around that area.
Alright, folks, time to place your bet. Who's going to finish ahead? Di Gregorio or Di Groot?
They're driving the same car.
Yep, I'm putting my money on Di Groot today. He had some pace last week, but a little bit of issues. Yes, I'm sticking by Di Groot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no one will be able to tell if you go back on that. So, Joe Nolasco.
Are we getting
What
a
does he see?
full lap warm-up
It looks
today?
like it.
Ooh.
Which is uncharacteristic, especially considering that even in real life, do they not do a full formation lap? I've definitely seen times where they
Well,
start
they
at
definitely
the.
don't just start at the back.
Well,
You
no.
have to drive around the track.
I remember seeing something along those lines. Whatever.
I mean, they often don't really form up until the end, but...
So as they come down the Kimmel Straight, and our director looks at the grass. Cameraman is falling asleep at the wheel. Everyone warming up their tires, not entirely.
See a couple people weaving back and forth.
I see a
Could get
bunch of
messy.
people. So as we crest the Kimmel Straight there and come into Combe. Ooh, we gotta start to see a little bit of chaos already. It looks like that was Wesley Stokes getting a little confused on his starting position there.
Warm-up lap is a good time to remind you folks this race is brought to you by air conditioning. It keeps it cool. I'm going to turn it on.
Very good. Any particular air conditioning brand you had in mind? Alright, sounds good.
Let's see, what do we have? Meanwhile, I'm seeing over here in the land of Spa. 26 degrees Celsius outside, 33 degrees on the track temp, with a strong wind of 0 kilometers per hour.
So for those of you in America land, that's about 80 degrees outside temperature. I don't remember what he said for track
33.
temperature. 33, so that's about 85 or 90. And then a balmy 0 miles per hour in wind there.
Nice.
Now looking at Glenn Price. Now Albert Arjona. Javier Muniz. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have the director is currently doing its own thing, and it's jumping around to a bunch of different drivers. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there.
Very interesting. I do see the director tool now. When you click on a certain driver, shows what cup category and even driver rating that driver has.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure how those are set up. It might be based off of Assetto Corsa internal systems.
I think so. That's like your driver rating. That wouldn't be the ESR standards. Anyways, we are here.
Okay, for the first lap, we're going to go on board with sorry, not Ayrton Tobin, with Mike Stoffmeal, I believe.
Michael Magus.
Michael Magus, apologies. It's a Mike. And we have a little bit of a crunch up at the front.
Here we go.
And lights are flashing.
All right, gentlemen, what's happening?
Green flags are not been waved yet. We're still under safety car.
Screw out laps. All right, folks.
Okay, never mind then.
I'm sure the drivers are very frustrated at the moment.
Well, they all slowed down hugely. Are we taking this start finish line?
Oh, actually, you're right. This may be the start line up here.
Well, the lights are still flashing.
I think.
Okay, you sounded very affirmative. And green flags, green flags. We are racing at Spa-Francorchamps for round two of the ESR ACC GT3 Championship. Oh, a huge wreck right before Eau Rouge. That was many cars. I believe Eugenie was involved as well as Wesley Stokes potentially.
Magus slowed down, but someone behind him did not, and he is sitting. Oh, there's a pile of them. Meanwhile, I'm looking in the back. We have 3 Mercedes back here. This is catastrophe for these guys. Well, that'll do it for our onboard lap with Magus. How's it going up front?
On board with Christopher Streppen, P2.
Yes, indeed. It's like Verstappen keeping up well with Stoffmeal.
I would believe so. My monitor is popped out for a minute, but I will be right back. So we see Christopher Streppen hot on the tail of Mike Stoffmeal as they come exit Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane. Looks like there hasn't been too much progress made by any of them on each other. Matt Higgs has actually made up a couple of positions into 4th. Good for him. Looks like Wesley Stokes actually did avoid the incident in turn 1, so it must have been mistaken. Looks like Tommaso Bellino has made his way up to 21st, as has Martin Hughes. Max Simmons appears to have fallen down into 11th. I wonder if he got mixed up in that accident.
Indeed. I'm gonna try and take a look back here and find out exactly what happened on this opening lap.
Another. So it looks like Enzo Benvenuti is making a move on Glenn Price for 8th place as they come into, as they leave. As Ender Combs, Benvenuti takes out Glenn Price, further ushering in another weekend of bad luck for Glenn. I mean, that's just racing.
Ooh, let's
But that
take
happens.
another look at that. Oh no.
And not so much as a sorry. Although Benvenuti appears to be getting some of his comeuppance as Mika What makes a move on the outside. And they're still side by side as they enter Pouhon. Oh, and also Max Simmons is getting passed by Vinca. And Benvenuti denies the opportunity, as does Simmons. Oh no, Simmons gets past. So that Golf livery Porsche of Vinca got past Simmons. It looks like Simmons is losing time. He's actually under fire from Joe Nolasco as well in the corresponding Mercedes.
Seen some action here of what?
We're right there as well.
Not much.
Well, it looks like Mika What is gaining on Benvenuti, who he attempted to make a pass on a couple turns ago. He's going a little wide, but the bus stop is not the ideal passing point. Goes wide, outbreaks himself a slight bit. Ooh, goes sliding, but is able to recover it. Ooh, remerges horribly. Gives Vinca a pain. Oh, and Vinca returns the favor and spins. What? That was a sketchy maneuver. Looks like the Lasco was actually able to make the best of it. I don't know what happened to Simmons. Looks like Simmons might have gotten the worst of that as well.
I'll take another
Lots of
look at
events
that
happening. Eugenie
incident
making his way up to 12th. And also making a pass attempt on Stokes for 11th place.
I'll take another look at that big incident
Wesley
here.
Stokes, Javier Eugenie, and Jeff. Oh, Eugenie cuts Eau Rouge, gives Jeff, apologies, a look on the inside. BMW and the Porsche are very balanced when it comes to top speed, but they do have very different braking patterns. We see Eugenie closing the door, rather, on Jeff. However, that Porsche and its oversteer, although Eugenie runs wide as they come into Combe, or as they leave Combe. Eugenie on the outside as Jeff makes a run through Bruxelles. And it just happens Eugenie doesn't have the oversteer to make it correct himself. Simmons is caught his way back up to Jeff, or to Eugenie now. Hot on the tail. Looks like Eugenie might have flat spotted his tires or overheated them of some sort. He seems to be struggling on these corners. As Simmons is now
Riding on board with Higgs here,
as
following Arona.
DeGroat is now hot on his tail as well.
Looks like DeGroat has made his way past DiGregorio.
It looks like it. And Butler is maybe having a look as well in the background. Let's go on board with DeGroat to follow this intense action.
Let's do it.
15th place. Let's stay on board as we watch the battle between DeGroat, DiGregorio, and Simmons heat up for 14th.
Ooh, real close racing here.
We're going to stay on board as they go through Eau Rouge. So what are you seeing there, Tobin?
Digger's still hot on the tail of the two in front of him, Simmons and Eugeni.
Very nice. Has anyone shown any signs of faltering?
No, nothing yet. Take a look back. I'm seeing an incident with Martin here. A little tricky at last source, but not too much.
Alright, now it looks like there's a battle hopping up between Matt Higgs, Sean Kenny, and Javier Muniz for 4th place. Matt Higgs holding firm in 4th place, but as we kind of predicted, he's falling off the leaders just a little bit. Looks like Lentini wasn't able to get this track down quite as much as he had Barcelona. It looks like Vinca's making a move on Nolasco and Benvenuti as they come into the bus stop chicane.
Oh, Lentini all over the back of Verstappen.
Yeah, Lentini and Verstappen are battling it out as they go into Eau Rouge. Stopmill is making a little bit of a gap on them. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see how it evolves.
I'll just hold on board with Lentini for this lap to see what happens here. And Lentini was the man of the hour last week. I imagine he wants to get by this Bentley so he can start chasing after Stoffmill.
Well, Christoph's put up a good fight, which he's always been a solid driver. So,
yeah, we're gonna see what kind of passer Lentini is, because he led from start to finish last week. Just
yeah,
he was gone.
I would say that Lentini might be just a smidgen better than Verstappen, but I don't think he's quite better enough to make an easy pass happen, especially on Spa where passing is so far and few in between.
Oh, Verstappen looked like he kind of backed up the turn a little there. Nice job defending. Pretty early in that.
So here we can see the difference in cars.
Oh, Lentini
gets a little wide as they go through Blanchimont, or as they approach Blanchimont.
All right, let's see who has the straight line speed.
That's definitely going to be the Bentley. There's no way Lentini can hold on through Blanchimont.
Oh no, yeah, even in the toe, he's losing ground.
The Bentley is unstoppable in a straight line. Thankfully, it's very stoppable in all the other places.
Well, Lentini was able to corner a little
let's look
bit
as
better.
he tries to
dive
dive
up the inside.
No, it's not going to happen.
Well, but what kind of run can he get out of this into the first turn? Or, I guess in this format, it's the last turn.
He's still holding on tight. I kind of expect him to have dive under that turn, but it's a probably good idea that he didn't. He has a look almost every single turn. Lentini has a title to defend for now, but of note, it's not Christoph that he has to defend it from. It's Mike Stoffmill, who is several seconds ahead at this point. He's there at least 4 seconds. Or yeah, Stoffmill is. So of worry to Lentini is not Verstappen, the person he's fighting with, but Stoffmill, the guy who he's being denied a chance to fight with. As this battle continues, we're going to pop back and see. Looks like there's another battle happening between Higgs and Kenny and Muniz. Just kidding. I meant the one between Nolasco and Benvenuti for 7th. Looks like Jeff got by Nolasco up into 8th. Albert Arjona behind the Mercedes in the Porsche, able to... Looks like we had a pass going on in the back there. That appeared to be Eugenie and Stokes.
Let's see what happens with Stokes. Indeed, let's see what happened with Stokes. Yeah, he tried it down the outside. Almost made it. Yeah, he tried it down the outside and almost made it.
So Arjona is now getting held up by Alaska. Going around the outside of Blanchimont with Eugenie in tow. Arjona backs out wisely. That Mercedes is a smidgen faster in the straights, I believe.
Oh, Verstappen. Lentini's going around the outside for Verstappen here. Go on board. Lentini has made it around.
Very nice. So now Jeff puts the hurt on Benvenuti in 7th place. As they come into Eau Rouge. Jeff cutting Eau Rouge slightly. I'm not familiar with the Aston Martin as much, but it looks like Jeff is able to make up the difference in whatever straight line speed there is as he goes around the outside as they go into Combe. Oh, a poor passing opportunity for him as Benvenuti runs wide, kind of blocking him out. Still putting the hurt on, not losing too much time as they come into Bruxelles. Now, Bruxelles is not a great turn for passing in, but it's a good one to set up as they approach Pouhon. But it looks like Benvenuti was the better setup too. As Arjona makes a look on Nolasco around the inside, but Nolasco locks him out.
So Lentini is starting to pull away from Verstappen a little bit.
So now he can do battle with Stoffmill if he can catch him in time. Oh, Jeff gets wide as they exit Paul Freire, I believe that is. Yeah, and so Jeff gets passed by Nolasco. Getting a little uneasy on that turn exit.
Ooh, let's go back and see here. Looks like Vinke and the group got together a little bit. Just a little bit of a bump from the side.
Yeah, you can't be doing that in these race cars. They don't like it. Looks like someone's already in the pits. That looks like a Bentley. I wonder if that is... No, it's not Verstappen. Or is it Butler? I don't know who that is.
Looks like we've got a real train of Nolasco, Jeff, Arjona, and Eugenie here.
Yeah, we indeed do. That's what we've been watching for the last few minutes. We've seen about 3 or 4 switch-ups in the last half a lap. Alaska makes a move on Benvenuti around the outside as they come into Combe. Oh, as we've seen Jeff make that mistake before, it's a terrible passing opportunity, but he attempts to scrounge it back together as Jeff makes a run on the outside, or in the inside. Arjona now makes a run on the outside of Jeff, but backs out wisely. We're of note, Eugenie is now catching up as they've been slowing each other down through Combe. And not too far behind Eugenie is Stokes. So we have to, they have to be careful with all this battling. Maybe they need to pick their passing opportunities more carefully. So our train of 4 is now turned into a train of 5, and is soon to be a train of 6. This could be either very good or very bad, or maybe both. So Paul Frere turn is the one where Jeff made the big mistake last time, but it appears he's learned and actually made a good run on it out of, run on Nolasco out of that turn. Nolasco having to defend from the Porsche. Luckily his Mercedes does have a little more straight line speed, but now Jeff is also in the tow. Jeff makes a run on the inside through the bus stop, or he tries to, goes, oh, as Nolasco goes to the outside, as we've seen that mistake happen before, he gets cut off.
And Arona's
And
sweeping in
Jeff
from
is
the back.
sweeping in. Arjona's hot on his tail. He might go for a run. Looks like he got a bit of an acceleration advantage.
We're gonna see 3 wide into this turn. Arona's looking on the outside.
As
Darts
Jeff
back to the inside.
is still on the inside. He gets the cutback. Nolasco has a terrible run as he lets Arjona through. So Nolasco was a little bit careless with those last couple of turns, including the bus stop. Although Arjona hasn't made it yet, they're gonna go 2 wide through Eau Rouge. Oh, looks like Arjona
pulls out.
Oh, everyone's going wide.
Everyone's cutting.
Or they're cutting, I guess. Arjona backed out, but he backed out a little too late. Thankfully, no one wrecked. That could have been dangerous. I believe it was Sean Bean that says one does not simply go too wide through Eau Rouge.
Oh, I'm seeing there was a massive accident between Vinke and De Groot. These guys cannot get apart. Let's go back in. Take a look at that. Yep, Vinke came up behind De Groot.
Ooh.
Oh, he bumped him straight into the pit lane entrance.
Oh,
I think
that's
De Groot's
not
race
good.
is over.
If he can get that repaired, that'd be good. But looks like he's going to be sticking with Butler for the time being. Why don't we go on board with Albert Arjona in 10th place as they fight with Joe Nolasco.
Alrighty. Oh, looking up the inside. Oh, Arjona going into the pits.
So Arjona's dipping into the pits. That is before the pit window, I believe. Is it?
I'm seeing a lot of. Let's take a look here. Well, let's see. Nope, pit window is open. There's 39 minutes to go. A lot of guys jumping in right as soon as I could. You know, let's take a look up front. It looks like Stoffmill has a 6.1 second lead over Lentini. And Lentini has a 0.9 second lead over Verstappen, so Lentini's not too far ahead of Verstappen. Meanwhile, Higgs is back another 10 seconds.
This looks like Higgs has come into some clean air, for better or worse. Let's check up on our leaders. Looks like Lentini is not making enough time on Stoffmill as he had I bet he hoped, but.
A little bit. Last I saw it was 6.1. Now it's down to 5.6.
Okay, so still making some time.
Either the timing is just off.
Looks like Mike Magus was involved in an accident of some sort.
Oh, yes he was. Go back and take a look at that.
Look at John Barker.
Ooh, it looks like that was Nash and Magus. Magus was spun off and kind of went into pit road. At this point, he's in the pit, so I assume he just turned that into
Not a bad idea.
It's not been a great race for Magus. Unfortunately, none of which has been his own doing.
And alas, that ends up being the case more often than not in racing. So it looks like, ooh, the battle between Benvenuti, Stokes, and Eugeni, with Jeff somewhat distantly up there, is heating up. Stokes is right behind Benvenuti.
take a look what happened with Benvenuti. I'm seeing he had some incident here. Yes, he did. I'm not sure who that's with. Oh, Benvenuti got turned sideways coming over the over the starting line.
Stokes has a look in the bus stop, but it's not going to happen, and he decides that he's had enough. That's it. I'm going to get my tires. Don't give me a heart attack, ladies.
Alright, meanwhile, what do we have? So behind Stoffmill, Lentini, Verstappen, and Higgs, we have Kenny in 5th. Nice job here for Sean Kenny. Castagno Muniz in 6th, Jeff in 7th, and Benvenuti is up in 8th. Nice.
Looks like there's a battle between Simmons, Eugeni, and Benvenuti, picking up for where Stokes left him. Simmons making a pass on the outside with a great run into the Kemmel Straight. He's alongside, but as we've seen, going through Combe has not been a great passing opportunity, and Max proves that right. Although Benvenuti runs wide as they continue the fight, as they approach Bruxelles, Max Simmons going wide. They are still too wide. 3 turns in a row.
Alright, looks like
Max Simmons makes a pass, but is now too wide. He has to slow down to get more oversteer. Benvenuti gets it back, and looks like he's able to put down some tracks, getting a little bit of distance. That might be the end of this fight for now, as Eugeni in front of them is gotten a substantial lead due to all their fighting. Although Benvenuti goes extremely wide as they get into Pouhon. Max Simmons right on his bumper. Gets a little bit of toe, not enough for a pass, till he does make a look. Just kidding! He dives hard on the brakes. Oh, and Campus is still their battleground. Simmons is past, and now it's his turn to put down the tracks. Benvenuti still eager. Oh, gets a little bit squirrely on the turn exit, and I think that might be it. I think that's it. So Simmons up into 8th from 9th place. Good job, Schmidt.
Lentini, meanwhile, still 5.9 behind Stoffmill, so he's holding the exact same pace. But that gap he lost at the start, might be a little too much.
Well,
we'll see what they can do.
He's got great pace, but that Christopher Streppen in between them appears to have, as I predicted, put quite a damper on his first place dreams. As Javier Eugeni is probably one of the happier people on this track right now. Was having a 5-way battle for 7th and is now all on his own.
Alright, I'm just going to ride it with Verstappen here. He came out of the pits and is in some nasty traffic, so he's making some moves to get through.
We're so on board with Verstappen.
Certainly, the key to this little undercut pitting first is getting out in some clean air, making it the most of the new tires. Unfortunately, that does not work when you find yourself out in traffic. You might lose some time here.
One of the biggest parts about pitting is not just when to do it, but also how to position yourself to take most advantage of, not only having new tires, but being in as little traffic as possible.
I have to imagine Verstappen was counting on pitting, getting out ahead of Lentini, because he doesn't quite seem to have the pace of Lentini, but he was holding him up, and it seems like he can do that as long as he's the one out front. Verstappen is in 18th at the moment.
So Verstappen is in 7th in it.
Oh no, Verstappen! Oh, loses it. Coming out of Eau Rouge.
Eau Rouge, oh no.
Smashed the wall and he kept going, but he looks like he might be kind of resigning.
Might be done.
It's hard to say. No, I think he's just getting out of the way of people. Well, I don't know what he's doing at this point. He's staying in grass the entire length of Kemmel. And
yes,
I know he wants to get out of guys' ways, but he's kind of, alright, no, he's back on track. Oh, it does not want to turn in. I think he's lost all steering. It's going to be a very long lap if he's going to get
It looks like
back around to
Sabaldo
the
Di
pits.
Gregorio got a 30-second stop and go penalty. I wonder that might have been either a pit stop violation or just cutting track. Oh, Di Gregorio goes into the wall after Bruxelles. Or no, yeah, after Bruxelles. Oh, and he stopped. I think that might be it for him. What if he had some engine damage of some sort? That was not a happy Ferrari. Oh yeah, he quit. So
Oh,
Sabaldo Di Gregorio. For those who bet on Douglas DeGroat finishing ahead, you may not collect your winnings.
It didn't look good earlier, but it looks like DeGroat is going to finish ahead.
By default, yes. Oh, Dylan
Yeah.
Lasker just went through someone. We're not going to look at that.
A true titanic battle of attrition between these
Who
two.
can crash less?
Meanwhile, Verstappen is still. He's getting there. He's heading towards the back straight, so he's nursed this car around. Although, man, what position is he in at this point? It's not good. He's only in 19th, so. Well, I suppose that's because he pitted. So once he merges back with everyone else, it's not gonna be pretty. Did a good job of staying out of the way, though.
Quite a tense battle for 14th, 13th now, with Vic Nash. I'm not sure how many of those people are actually involved in this battle. Actually, I'm tempted to believe not many of them.
See, Hutchison is running 31st. He was caught up in that initial incident, and it just has not gone well for me.
Makes sense, I believe it.
I'm not sure. Are Hutchison and Magus a team in this series?
I believe they are.
I believe they are, and if so, that was not a good first turn for them. Alright, well, things have gotten pretty spread out in the midst of these stops. Meanwhile, I see Stoffmill has pitted first, so Lentini's going to stay out here for a bit longer, perhaps trying to keep that clean air. Flashing his lights at a lapped car. Alright, Stoffmill is away from his pits. Go ahead and ride on board with Stoffmill.
So me and Neku comes into pits.
For this outlap. Gonna be important outlap for Stoffmill for sure. Very long pit out lane.
Oh, yeah.
Considering this is using both like the front and back pit stretches, and that is a long pit out.
Yeah, thankfully everyone has to do
And
it.
he is away, heading up Eau Rouge. Take a look, see what happened with Hughes. Oh, bit of a bump in action going into pit lane. In fact, the driver ahead of him was not going.
So Max Simmons, no doubt under the graces of many people taking pit stops, is now in third, I mean.
Meanwhile, Lentini is in the pits, so we're going to see where he comes out with Stoffmill. This will be interesting.
Why don't we go on board with
Lentini
Stoffmill
sits in the
as we
pits.
also watch, we witnessed Lentini's pit out.
Yes, indeed. So, Stoffmeal is rounding the turn, which is called
Lentini's moving.
Stavelot. Oh, alright, well, let's see how this goes, because Stoffmeal's just now approaching Blanchimont.
Well, as you said, this is a
I was
gigantic
gonna
pit
say,
lane.
he seems impossibly far back, but this is a long pit
And the
lane.
speed limit goes all the way down, so
Through Blanchimont, approaching the bus stop.
Lentini has rounded the first or the last corner.
So he's on the final straight.
Yep.
Alright, here we go.
Still
Approaching the
under
first straight.
under pit speed limiter.
Oh, he's gonna be, plus Stoffmeal's gonna be carrying a lot of speed through Eau Rouge and down Kemmel. Alright, rounding La Source.
Still under pit speed limiter. It seems like he has an impossible distance to cover.
Oh, here comes Stoffmeal by the starting line. He can see Lentini going
and we
up.
crossed the pit speed limit lane.
Oh, but here comes Stoffmeal full speed.
This is a
He can see Lentini.
but seeing is not enough. Lentini makes it out and is now on the Kemmel straight.
Wait, are we? Who did he pass? He just passed.
Oh no, he's way up there. Stoffmeal is way up.
So Stoffmeal. Yep. That was actually, I believe, Nash in the blue McLaren he went by. So,
Yeah.
Stoffmeal does have his lead.
That was exciting, even though it really wasn't.
Looks like, what is the gap? It is, oh, I'm seeing a 8-second gap now. So
Yep.
Stoffmeal made up about 2 seconds under all that.
Simeon Naku gets a stop and go 30-second penalty. That was definitely for pit lanes. Right before he pitted, we saw that he kind of sped on the entrance.
I'm seeing, looks like there was an incident with Naku. Maybe this is just the speeding. Or it wasn't, actually. Let's take a look. Oh, he got bumped by a Bentley, perhaps a Verstappen, and found himself sitting backwards.
Verstappen and Butler are both kind of in the ilk. Lentini now getting past Vic Nash. Luckily, Nash gets out of the way. Looks like Lentini is urgent. He was flashing his lights a lot, trying to signal him, get out of the way. I got big fish to fry.
Benvenuti in second is pitting. That leaves, as seemingly is always the case, Max Simmons out front.
Max Simmons is our last fuel not to pit, but he's
all right.
I think he's
Max Simmons. You have 4 minutes 18 seconds to go to get that pit in.
You also got 4 minutes and 18 seconds left to be in first place. I think.
But you know what? He seems to work well with these old tires and just stays out there in the clean air, not getting involved back in that post-pit traffic, and it seems to work out well for him.
Yeah. At least until he gets a big penalty. Or no, he gets involved in crashes.
So the gap between Stoffmeal and Lentini is just about the difference from the bus stop to La Source, that first little straight.
So as you can see, Stavlo, turn 15, is about the distance you have to be, or maybe Campos even, is the distance, is the time it takes to get through the pits. That's almost half a lap. Jeez.
Alright, let's see a quick little rundown. Where do we sit? Pitting aside, after Simmons and Benvenuti, I see Stoffmeal, Lentini, Castagno Muniz, Higgs. Okay, so he's fallen behind Castagno at some point. Kenny, Jeff, Arona, Eugeni, Nolasco, and Stokes should make up the top 10.
Seems about right. Of note, Max Simmons appears to be on a tearing lap, 7/10 faster than his. Oh, nope, down to 6/10. I spoke too soon, but still on a tearing lap.
Good.
6/10 faster than his previous best.
He might be able to do one more lap. Well, how long is a lap? A lap
About 2
is
minutes 20.
2:20. No, I think he has to come in this lap. I don't think he can do another lap.
No.
This is it, Max.
No,
Gotta pit here.
He's got to pit here.
Let's see. Let's
Yep,
see.
he's going
Yes,
in.
he does.
Okay. Excellent. Good.
So that just leaves. Nope, never mind. The other guy pitted.
Looks like he was able to slow
Meanwhile,
down.
let's
So
ride on board
Stavmeal
with Higgs here.
is just coming into Paul Frere, so seems pretty likely. Although of note, his gap to Simmons is currently about the same as what it was when he was trying to track down Lentini. So, I mean, he'll definitely get by, but just thought it was interesting.
All right.
Solentini's only a few seconds back. About, oh no, about 14 seconds. Oh, what happened there? Did Lentini have an accident of some sort?
I'm not seeing anything showing up for him. Higgs is hot on the tail of Muniz.
It looks like he must have spun because Vic Nash has gotten back ahead of him. He was just passing him a while ago.
All right. Well, let me see what I can do to find what happened to Lentini.
No, don't worry about it. It's he just went wide or spun or something. Oh, there goes another nail into the potential coffin of not winning. Looks like someone's pulled off onto the side of the road. Who is it?
Shot out of the nail gun. That is Mike Stoffmeal.
Justin
Into the
Swan.
hearts of his competitors.
Looks like Justin Swan had some difficulties through Eau Rouge. As Max Valentini says, thank you, give me that spot. So provided neither of them get penalties, if they finish like they are, Max Valentini second, Mike Stoppmill first, that's tied for first place.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that it'll be even more intense come race 3. Meanwhile, Max Simmons is making his way down the pit road. There's Arjona. Arjona gets by. Looks like Eugenie is not able to. So,
Taking a look what happened with Butler. Butler ran a little wide, not too bad. Pit window is closed. And with that, we have 20 minutes to go. It's gone by quickly.
yeah, it really has.
Take a look here and see what our closest gaps are. Lentini is 7.5 back behind Stoffmeal, made up a little bit of ground. Higgs is far back from there, although it's only second back to Castaño Muniz. Kenny, another 5 seconds back.
That's a good point. Higgs is now in third place, so whereas he was in, what, fifth? Now he's up in a third.
And what do you know? No speeding penalty for Higgs.
I mean, it's
Good
still 20
job.
minutes left. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Be a problem from here.
It's never too late for the little Higgs. So I'm kind of curious, what happened to Verstappen? Why is he down in 22nd?
Remember, he smashed the wall and had to do an entire lap.
He was at he died at Eau Rouge. Ugh, I forgot about that.
Yep. Just riding on board, looking up from the back of Higgs here.
Yeah, let's go on board for a spell.
Oh, that is Castaño Muniz all over his bumper.
Not too late to cut the corner and get a penalty.
Maybe holding up a driver over aggressively warrants a penalty.
Yeah, anything's the sky's the limit.
Oh, was that some driving over the curbs I saw, Matt Higgs?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Looking to keep their streak alive, the stewards are just scrambling to find some issue with Higgs' driving.
We gotta get Higgs on something. We gotta. You gotta pull out all the stops.
But, despite being a terrible Warzone player, Matt Higgs is not driving too poorly today.
Oh, nice dig. So as we take a look at Javier Muniz right behind him. So as with its Audi sibling, the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 is a very balanced car. Maybe a little faster in a straight line than perfectly balanced, but still very good. The Porsche is on the other side of that coin, slightly better at the corners, but not much. So we should have a very intense race.
Where is Price running at this point? I remember he qualified well.
15th?
In fact, he had the fastest third sector, so some good straight line speed in that Audi.
Yeah, he had some bad luck in the first few laps, and I think he had some
That's
even more
right.
bad luck later.
That's right. I think I remember him getting a little bit of a punt going to the combs. Now, you see what Spa needs is a Joker lap, which is just the full classic Spa. Have to go out into the countryside on one lap, drive around for like 14 miles, and come back.
So we're now down to 33 drivers. We've lost quite a few.
Yep, not quite the full scale we had at Barcelona, but still a
Well, we
well
started at
filled out field.
39, I believe.
Yeah.
So we've lost. I know we've lost. D. D. What's his? This sounds similar to D. Groat. I don't remember.
Alright, I'll take a look. What happened with what? That was what, and I think Barker?
What?
Yep. What? What and Barker got a little close going into the bus stop, and no harm, no foul. They both kind of just slowed down and seemingly acknowledged their mistakes.
Aw, friendship.
That one will not be deserving of a naughty boy stamp.
Yay! Good job, Butler. Yeah, we haven't had too many naughty boys going on. I'm upset. I made that stamp and I got the sound effect all hooked up for nothing. I got to use it once so far.
Oh, I'm sure on the opening lap you could just stamp that all over the screen.
Yeah, why not?
Meanwhile, let us take a look at this gap. Stoffmeal over Lentini is 7 seconds, so it's stabilized there. Down from the 8 seconds after pits. Solid race by Stoffmeal today. Kind of pulling what Lentini did last week, just taking it from the start and running away with it.
Yeah, I think he owes Christopher Streppen a thank you
Absolutely.
for his for that maneuver. We've seen Lentini in the past, even before this specific series. We've seen him kind of struggle when it comes to getting back time. If he can be out in front or even like battling directly, he's a warrior. But if he's trying to make up room, he tends to struggle. As Jeff makes a run on Sean Kenny for fifth place.
Yes, indeed. Watching that.
Very nice. What happened? That Porsche is flying. It looks like Kenny might be having a mechanical problem.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna go take a look back with Kenny. See what happened here. Watch the replay of this pass. Kenny just, I don't know.
Not get a good
I
run.
think he let off a little bit going to Blanchimont being on the outside, and unfortunately in letting off to, not having to go too wide into Blanchimont, that just killed his momentum after that. So it was
that'll do it.
It was a kind move on his part not to force anything.
Wonder how often they have to resurface Eau Rouge versus the rest of the track. Because like all the force and stuff that goes through that, like
yeah, you'd think there'd be a pretty hefty like groove, some ruts in the road from that.
Yeah, you think they'd have to resurface it pretty often. Well, it looks like Kenny's made up some time back on Jeff a little bit as they come into Bruxelles. Meanwhile, Muniz is losing time on Higgs. He was right on his tail, but now appears to be less so.
Inset showing Price here, following Barker. Got a nice little battle going on.
We'll also watch from the exterior too. So Price and Barker have been our bastions of bad luck, it seems, this race. Poor Glenn Price, he's gotten the shaft on a lot of these events. That being 2. As always, props to Barker, John Barker, for sticking with the NSX. Still our only NSX runner. He must really like those Hondas. Fun fact, The Acura NSX, which is actually a Honda NSX, is one of the only supercars produced like more than 70% in America. As are most Hondas, by the way. So it looks like Glenn Price has just a tad bit of a straight line speed advantage on his compatriot in the NSX. But that NSX, as I've made very apparent in the past, is an absolute monster in the corners. It grips like nothing. So as they come into Blanchimont, we'll have to see if they're able to make amends with those shortcomings.
Ooh, Price pulling up
Price
along
on
the
the
inside.
outside, which becomes the inside. Easy peasy. Oh, it goes very wide though. Not a good look.
Oh, Barker,
But
nice prowler.
Barker eats it back up through that braking zone. Really coming to the final corner. That's, I believe that's Chris Martin. No, not the Coldplay singer, but there is a man named Christopher Martin in our racing series. I think that's him just ahead of Glenn Price.
Take a look back here and see what happened with Mr. Swan. Nice little pass. Nothing too egregious.
So there's now a big old cluster as Chris Martin and I believe that's John Picha find themselves in a tangle with Glenn Price and John Barker. Chris Martin goes way wide around Bussell.
Replay
Barker's
view Jenny here. Oh, incident there.
Let's take a brief look at our front runners again. Lantini in second as per the usual.
9.1 seconds back, so falling off a little bit.
Well 9.0
Ooh, I'm
plus
seeing yellow
4.8.
flags. Let's see. Looks like that was Butler. Let's take a look back and see what happened there. Ooh, Butler had a bit of run-in with, perhaps that's Arona? It's one of the yellow bushes.
Probably Arjona. It's either Arjona, Muniz, or what's the other one? I know this. No, Swan. Justin Swan.
Alright, what's happening with Higgs? Still holding off. So, for that final podium spot, we've still got Castaño Muniz on the rear of Higgs.
And Jeff is a little ways back, but not an insurmountably large distance back. About 4 seconds or so.
Looks like there was another incident with Price.
Oh, no.
Price! No, no, no! Oh, watching this replay here. Oh, unfortunate for Price. He came up behind, that was the blue, I believe Hughes in the blue, McLaren, and yeah, going through the bus stop. Nope, that was Hughes, I see. Hughes he kind of lost it going through the bus stop, and Price was like, alright, I'll just take a nice and slow drive around you on the outside. But as Hughes just kept pushing further and further wide, Price was forced to go to the pits and kind of just came to a stop and was able to avoid actually going into the pits. But
that's gonna get a naughty boy stamp.
Just the worst luck for Price. In fact, I want to see that from his onboard. Let's take a look.
So Higgs is still battling against Arjona or Muniz, and Jeff. And where's Kenny in all this? Some distance back, but again, not an insurmountably huge distance. I believe that's Vic Nash in between.
Indeed, I'm just going to go ahead and ride on board with Castaño Munoz pretty much until the end of time.
Well, we are watching from the outside, so hello there. Ooh, not a good run out of last corner. One thing I noticed when gathering B-roll for this this track, man, there's a lot of Lamborghinis and Audis in this field. Not particularly this exact field, but in the GT3 2019 or 2020 field, there's a billion of them. Like, I was trying to get some vehicle sounds, you know, it's some variation, you know, V8s, Porsche, Lamborghini, V10 stuff. It took forever to find one that wasn't just a V10
It
sound.
looks like Castaño Munoz does have a little bit more pace at this point. He dropped way off coming out of La Source and instantly made it back up. But Higgs he's good at defending.
And he's really wide. Looks like Vic Nash or Martin Hughes is, what is he doing? Watch your rejoin there, son. Jeff looks to be making a little bit of time up as well. Not much, but they do have 5 minutes, so 2 laps or so.
Castaño Munoz cutting it right up against the gravel on the runoff. Using up all that space.
Not gonna lie, this is making me want to get in on this series. There's a lot of action going on. There's some Higgs come through Blanchimont. I don't actually know this for certain, but does Blanchimont stand for White Mountain?
Would not surprise me.
To the rescue, Google.
Alright, how much time do we have left? Probably a couple minutes at this point.
4.5 minutes or so.
So the fight is thoroughly on for third place. Although Higgs pulls out of La Source and through Eau Rouge every time.
So it looks like that's either Justin Swan or Albert Arjona in front. I believe it's Swan. So this will be a potential
teammate action.
If Muniz has any communication with Arjona, which he probably doesn't, but you never know.
I would love to see Swan hold him up here. That's not dirty. That's just pure.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like
if he has any communication, or if Swan picks up on it.
There are blue flags waving, so it can't be too egregious of a block.
Higgs is flashing his lights. He's not happy, but how could you be?
Although it seems like Higgs is pulling away from Munoz.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what the heck?
I think Swan isn't really holding him up much. It's kind of. Oh, Munoz is going real wide there.
Probably not sure if he lost how much time he lost there. Unfortunately, the Lamborghini being slightly faster in a straight line means that he's kind of got his pick of passing opportunities for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know if Swan is just like suddenly picking up action, the opposite of what you'd expect, but Higgs is pulling away over the course of this lap from Munoz, despite being behind his teammate. Although, I have to wonder what the limit is on the blue flags, because I've seen those waving all around the course.
Normally they have a 3 blue flag limit, I think.
So Swan is not letting him by, that is for sure, because that's where
he's making
really
move on the outside.
Should have.
We've seen pass attempts go wrong if they come into the bus stop. Oh, nope, it's pretty clean. Wow, I did not expect that.
Well, I'll say Munoz didn't really hold up his end as a teammate there. Didn't get a good lap because Swan was holding up Higgs.
Swan taking an interesting line, just letting Munoz by. Holding up Jeff.
There you go. There you see what a true let by is.
Giving him the entire width of the track.
But alas, that did not impede Higgs at
So
all.
this will probably be the second to last lap. Let's see where Stoffmeal is. Yeah, I think he's gonna get by on this lap. So one more after this one. Oh, Jeff is getting by. Oh, that's the one. Okay.
No worries, I'll just keep riding with Muniz here, let you know if anything happens, but it looks like he used up all his tires there and he's starting to fall.
It looks like
well
Jeff
off
is
the
even
pace.
catching him slightly, which is not good.
That is
Vic
indeed
Nash
Jeff.
getting a drive-through
That
penalty.
is indeed Jeff.
I'm gonna take a look at Glenn Price and John Barker. Ah, there's no battle happening there. Maxim has fallen from 8th into 10th, but is now battling with Joe Nolasco and Javier Eugeni. This might be an exciting battle.
Like Stoffmeal starting his final lap. Sounds like Stoffmeal starting his final lap.
Ooh, Nolasco goes way right around Blanchimont, giving Simmons the go as he takes it without too much difficulty. Now to put the hurt on Eugeni.
Oh, Jeff is getting a big run. Oh, Jeff is getting a big run on Castaño Muniz. Bus stop. Going into the bus stop.
Not quite enough to make a move, though.
Not quite enough to make a move, though.
Those battle seems to have fizzled out slightly, so let's go back and look at them. As we come into our final lap, looks like is that Vic Nash? It might be, or it might be Piino. Slowing down Higgs just a little bit as they come into Eau Rouge. Ooh, Higgs got by. I don't. Muniz might not be able to. Oh, Jeff! Jeff goes sliding. Oh, it suffers the same fate as Christopher Streppin, slamming into the wall, and is now stopped in the middle of the track. It's caused Justin Swan to veer off and hit the wall. Oh no! Gives Sean Kenny the go as the last of the yellow
Let's take a quick
Porsches.
replay of that whole incident.
That was terrible. Jeff overextended. The Porsche can be really dangerous around those corners, especially Eau Rouge.
Replay of that. Oh,
Looking at a replay of that. Oh, middle of Eau Rouge, slams into the wall.
Right back into it.
Comes right back into it. Causes someone else
Swan,
to
that
fly
was
off
Swan.
the track.
And the twin damaged Porsches of Jeff and Swan are now clogging up the entire track, causing Butler to have to go off track and get his tires dirty as he outbrakes himself. Vic Nash and Doug DeGroat, our car heroes, also suffering the battle here. Oh, that's not good.
Meanwhile, Mike Stoffmeal crosses the lines. The checkered flag waves. Interesting, so the starting line and the finish line are not the same on this layout.
Huh.
As he rounds Lost Source, I'm seeing a red flag waving. Is that just telling him of complete carnage up ahead?
Might be.
Yellow and red smoke. Yellow and red
So
smoke.
Max Simmons and Javier Eugeni are now passing Jeff, and they're probably also going to get by. Well, no, they're not. Unless that was Arjona. You know, I think that might have been Arjona that got caught up in the crash.
Oh, I think so.
No.
Oh, I think so.
No, it wasn't.
No, you're right.
He's maintaining too much speed. It has to be Swan.
But it looks like we've got Lentini in second, and it looks like Higgs is going to hang on to third.
Very nice. As we hang on to Simmons, who's gotten, because of the carnage, has gotten a good chance at maybe taking 7th from Eugeni. Going around the outside, using the Mercedes' superior straight line speed, which turns into the inside, but will turn back into the outside for the bus stop. So he has to make this go. He backs off. Maybe he's hoping to get on the inside after all. Will he? Oh, Nolasco also makes a move. Oh, Simmons. Oh, and that's it. Oh, a terrible run out. Nolasco might get the better of him. No.
Meanwhile, no donuts here.
Soft
no
meal. Meanwhile, no donuts here, no over
Lap.
celebration, just a nice cooldown lap with the big old
Flashing on the
001
windshield.
flashing on the windshield.
Very nice. What a race. What a race. As Fig Nash gets an 80-second penalty and Wesley Stokes gets a 130-second penalty. I am tempted to think that Wesley did not take a designated pit stop within the window, because that's normally the penalty for that. Oh, no good.
Have a look here. See what happened with. Have a look here. See what happened with Mr. What? Mr. What?
So if we take a look,
That's just a post race incident.
A little bit of mayhem here.
A little bit of mayhem here at Lost Source.
so if we take a look at the final order, Mike Stobmill in first, followed by Lantini, who made a great effort, was not able to get it back. Matt Higgs in third, Javier Muniz fourth, Sean Kenny fifth, Albert Arjona sixth, Javier Eugeni seventh, Max Simmons eighth after that fantastic battle, Joe Nolasco ninth, Mika Watt in 10th, I don't believe I know his first name, Jeff in 11th, Glenn Price 12th, Vinca in 13th, John Barker 14th, holding on, 15th, Ben Venuti, 16th, Wesley Stokes, 17th, Finn Esch, 18th, Christopher Streppin, 19th, Tommaso Biino, 20th, Andy Long, and that is our top 20. What a race! It's I'm liking having these gigantic fields every so often. It's pretty wonderful. As we can't really comment on the standings, except for Max Lentini and Mike Stobmill will now be tied, provided they're not given any penalties. So that'll lead into some pretty interesting happenings in the next race, which will be at Silverstone in the UK. So you can always take a look at this final standings as a fireworks player on esr-race.org. We'll have a link in the description below. If you like what you see, you can also have a look at our Discord. We're all these drivers. They don't do autographs, but they will talk to you. So that's a good one. I mean, it's like a mental
Most
autograph.
of them. Some of these guys might not talk to you after today. It wasn't exactly a great race for Price, Magus,
imagine Glenn Price is gonna. Imagine Glenn Price is gonna engage in some drinking. Oh man, I feel bad for the guy. But most of them are pretty good.
But let's see.
Hey, Matt Hicks didn't get any penalties.
Let's see. How far did you go down the results here?
I went down 20th.
All right. What else? Well, some guys are leaving, so unfortunately we cannot give you a full rundown.
Oh well. So that is race 2 of the ESR ACC GT3 series.
I'm seeing some
Season 3.
fireworks amongst the drivers here in these comments we'll leave to themselves. But looks like it was a race of passion, for sure, for many of them.
Surely, freaking Twilight ain't got nothing on this race. In any case.
Alright, well, I suppose we will see them settle it on the track in 2 weeks' time. Where are
And many weeks after that. Silverstone.
Silverstone. Ah, yes. The good old Royal British Demolition Derby track. We all know about that one.
Sounds great. I look forward to seeing it. Meanwhile, I look forward to seeing all you lovely people out there. You guys have a great 2 weeks. We'll see you then.